Now, it wouldn't be an episode of Erin without some kind of nod to our military community, and today that comes in the form of Captain Dylan Conway, a man who, in his mid-20s, faced the prospect of never being able to walk again. He was serving at 6th Battalion when 8 surgeries on his back left him bedridden. How did he make it through? Well, let's find out. He joins me now. Dylan, thank you so much for your time. 14 months unable to walk. What was that like, particularly for a young, fit bloke?
Erin, firstly, thanks so much for having me and all of your advocacy that you do for veterans and first responders in Australia. As you mentioned, yeah, it was a very difficult time for me in my life, and I was, like all defence members, incredibly committed towards, socialising and being on top of my health and fitness. So it was a massive change to my routine.
What actually happened, Dylan, with your back? Why did you need all those surgeries?
Yeah, so it didn't come about because of my service. It was just luck of the draw, and it was a pilonidal sinus. So it's just an ingrown hair in your lower back, which requires surgical removal. And during that time, I couldn't, as you stated, I couldn't walk, I couldn't leave my home, and I was extremely socially isolated. And it was an incredibly difficult time of my life, not too dissimilar to what everybody went through throughout the lockdowns over the past couple of years.
Now, you turned to books to help you through this. And look, I love reading. I'm an avid reader, but as a single mum of a 5-year-old, I don't get much time to do it with work and everything else. So I'm kind of jealous in a way that you got to devote a lot of your time to reading.
Yeah, so it was great. So what happened was I was feeling down on my luck, and all of a sudden one day there was a knock on my door, and a friend of mine knew I was going through this incredible hardship, and he sent me a book to read. And I read it, and I noticed that all of my sort of problems that I was facing seemed to disappear whilst I lost myself in a book. And I came across the terminology bibliotherapy, which refers to the flow state that we get into when we're reading a book or when we have our focused attention on something that's not, social media or something like that. And I wanted to encourage more people to go out and read books. So we established the charity Brothers in Books, which aims to change the culture of education in Australia to make reading cool. And we've got a community of around 20,000 amazing Australians that consist of police, veterans, current serving army members, hospital workers, all encouraging their teams, their peers, their friends and families to read more books. So it's just been absolutely incredible. And the amazing community over the past 2 years has raised over $145,000 to the veteran charity Legacy, which is just great, because not only are we supporting great causes, but these books being read all over Australia truly do make an impact that I believe it's a bipartisan sort of support for education. The knowledge, the stories they learn through these books will no doubt go on to impact their teams, lead to future innovation, and also hopefully help with the mental anguish that a lot of Australians are facing right now.
I love that so much, and it's so true, the point you make about what reading a book can do for you. If I'm a little bit anxious about something, the only time that I can switch off entirely is by reading a book. If I'm watching TV, I'm still scrolling on my phone. If I'm scrolling on my phone, messages come up. Being lost in a book is the greatest thing in the world. And, then once you finish it, you might think about the characters or miss them. You get so immersed in it. Do you remember the first book that you were given?
I do. It was Yes to Life by Viktor Frankl, and it's just an incredible read. And I couldn't agree more with your sentiments about losing yourself in a book. Just reading for 6 minutes a day can reduce stress by up to 68%.
Wow.
So this is a tangible thing that we can do at home to pass on to our teams to help reduce stress in the workplace. And, the barrier to entry for a book is so small, because it's only a $20 investment in yourself that can truly have an impact for the rest of your life, whilst also hopefully reducing stress and learning new things as well. So I just think it's great, and it's great that people like yourself support the charity by promoting and raising awareness about what we do. And what I failed to mention earlier is we also create community libraries all over Australia as well. So for organisations like hospitals, domestic violence centres, police stations, we've also been setting up community libraries so that the leaders in those organisations can encourage their team to read more books. And I think, you know, a lot of corporates would benefit from promoting education within their teams and creating that culture of learning as well.
Love that. Now, how can people at home support or learn more about your charity?
So the best way to find us is just Brothers in Books on Google, but we're also on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and currently today is the Kickstarter, it's the first day of our annual fundraiser. Which is the 5 and 50 challenge, which you should be able to see up there on the screen.
Yes.
And we encourage people all over Australia to read 5 books in 50 days as an excuse to blow the dust off your to-be-read pile, but also get back into the habit. And Erin, I'm proud to tell you tonight that there's over 500 people taking on the challenge this year. So we've got over 2,500 books being read that wouldn't have otherwise been read without the challenge. And I'm sure that'll have a flow-on effect to families, relationships, and workplaces all over Australia. So it's just great to see.
Well done, Dylan. Honest answer, how long did it take you to grow that moustache?
So this moustache actually gets issued when you join the army, Erin, and I think you know a few defence members with a moustache as well. And
Dad never had a moustache like that.
If I tried.
Love it. Thank you so much, Dylan, and well done for all you're doing for the veteran community. Good stuff.
Thanks, mate, and thanks for having me, hey.